I've had enough. When you're talking about sexuality, you've got to talk about it in brute, direct, uneuphemistic terms. You got to call a spade a spade. You got to directly define the problem. Can't talk around this. There's so much bullshit. There's so much nicey-nicey in this arena because there's so much sensitivity. But it's bullshit sensitivity. You got to state the problem clearly. I'm going to discuss very briefly the Parati curve. Stefan Molyneux, the philosopher Stefan Molyneux, brought that up. Who I disagree with Stefan. I don't like his morality, I don't like his ethics, and I don't like the way he does philosophy. But regardless of that, he's correct. On your 20/80 Parati curve, there is 20% of your studs out there, your big cocksmans, who are getting 80% of the action, and they're reaching down into the action that is available. Your plain women, your asexual women, your studs getting 80% of the sexually exciting women, stimulating. But your other guys, your 20%'s getting that. Your 80% of your ordinary guys, we're reaching down on the dregs. Anybody that will say yes to us, that will give us a hope, that will give us a prayer. I have a chance. I have a chance. We're clinging to every feather, every shred of hope, and watch it all blow up right before your eyes. Then you have to go for the escapes, the movies, porny, thank God Almighty. I'm a big defender of pornography. Yes, I am, and I say it directly, because it provides an escape and an outlet. And it also, when you see it, if it's good porn, I'm talking about your pretty boy, your bullshit porn. I'm talking about your basic porny that's exciting, that's stimulating, that's not done for camera angles, for shows, not the beautiful people. I'm not talking about the damn beautiful people. I'm talking about the average people. It is attention release. It is a soother, and it works for masturbation fantasies. It's a stimulant, just like coffee. There's so much bullshit going on, so much bullshit going around, so many myths, so many lies, all under the curtain of euphemism, all under the curtain of politeness, social acceptability, charm, rhetorical skills. This old cowboy, when I come in the room on a topic like this, I'll kick Pandora's box wide open. You come in with direct inquiry. You come in with the right attitude that's direct, that gets right to the point, gets right to the heart of the matter in the most direct route possible. That means defining your terms directly and clearly. That means going to the street. Is what I'm talking about. These problems, if they're kept with euphemisms, if they're perfumed over, it's like being in a pressure cooker. You put the lid of Judeo-Christian ethics on that pressure cooker to hold the lid down, huh? You talk about morality, traditional values, family values, and put that lid, hold that lid down. Just hold that damn lid down. Keep the pressure in there. Well, what's going to happen? It's going to explode. It has to explode. And when it does explode, the ones who are who are giving the sermons, they run and hide. They run and hide, and they point the fingers at the ones who have not helped to hold the lid down, huh? To keep the pressure on. To force a conformity. To force an attitude toward sexuality. This is the topic your stranger's talking about today. That has been refuted 100 years ago. Dr. Freud wrote. Graf von Ebling, Psychopathia Sexualis, wrote. It's been demonstrated and proven over in Kinsey. Master and Johnson even, in a very sterile way, in a clinically sterile way. It's because of the phony dishonesty. And basically, if you're the 80% not parodic curve, you have no choice. If you're honest, you'll never get laid. It's just that simple. Because of the way we look, because of our appearance, particularly if you're a little shorty like me, you're bald-headed, I'm 5'3", you have a belly. And then on top of that, you're microphallus. What in the hell, boy? What in the hell are you talking about? You got nothing to put up. All then that's left to you is vicarious, pretense, experience, locker room stories that you can build a masturbation fantasy around. And that's where the porno comes in. That's where the porno comes in. That's why I say, thank God Almighty for porno, because it's the release valve. And let some of that pressure out. What happened to the poor man? The poor little man, he's in pillory. He's waiting on bated breath for the coxman to give him a good story. Good locker room story. How'd you do? How was it? What did you say? What did you do? How did you get her to fuck you? How did you get her to do that? What did you say? What did you do? Give me the secret. Is there a secret here? Is there a formula that will work each and every time? We're talking about grooming. We're talking about the clothes. We're talking about the rap. We're talking about the swag. We're talking about the aggressiveness. And on and on. Before you can even get to the issue of testosterone and erections. You know, Eric Berne, the great psychologist, wrote a book, What Do You Say After You Say Hello? And your stranger says bullshit. The problem is, how do you enter the arena to say hello in an effective way right from the start? If you're short, if you're small, if you're pukey and puny. And in addition to that, you have ED problems. And in addition to that, you happen to be microphallus, underendowed. All the testosterone in the world is not going to help you, my friend. So you got to have other venues. That's where the porny comes in. That's where the appliances come in. That's where the fantasy comes in. That's where the dirty talk comes in. That's where the frottage, that means rubbing. That means dirty boogie. That's where that comes in. That's where the tension building comes in. To build up the tension. Now, I happen to be the frottage king, the frottage master. I have magic hands. And I happen to be the master of good, creative, dirty talk to stimulate. These are other venues. But the one thing that will kill a guy like this is to be jealous. That's the one thing that will destroy a guy like this, is to be jealous and to become addicted to the presence of any woman. Now he's begging for sex. Now he's begging for confirmation that doesn't come naturally. And you got a song like Baby It's Cold Outside, bullshit lyric like that. That is subliminal sex. There's no question about it. So Me Too movement is correct in rejecting that particular lyric. But they're wrong. They don't talk about, what about your pretty boy? What about your pretty boy that has swag, that has connections, that has power? What about him? We know that applies to your short little ugly guy, like me. But what about your pretty boy? What about your super stud? What about him? With him, you have bragging rights, don't you? You got bragging rights. And let me tell you something about these women, in my opinion. If they can get a tall dude, if they can get a handsome dude, if they can get a well-endowed dude, if they can get a dude that has money and is in great physical shape and good swag and good rap, my God, they want the whole damn package. The whole damn package. Then that dude can sing, Baby It's Cold Outside, and be persuasive and convincing. But he shouldn't even have to do that, because the women will come to him. He's called a chick magnet. That's what the word is, a chick magnet, a stud muffin, and all that other bullshit and all that other crap. That's what I'm talking about today. Nobody does it and says it like the stranger does. Because I believe in calling a direct. I believe in stating the problem in its base, bare elements, just as it's experienced out there in the street. You need strategy, game, techniques, phoniness, showmanship, acting ability, dishonesty. Hey, wait a minute. They sound familiar. There's somebody out there who has all these traits. Who might that somebody be? Well, it's none other than Mr. Trump. Art of the deal. Winning is everything. And let me tell you something. Trump is right. Trump is right. But where in the hell does Dennis Prager, with his Judeo-Christian moral ethics, come off in the camp of Donald Trump? Where the hell do these evangelists come off in the camp of Donald Trump? That's what interests me. How can you reconcile these? Well, how you reconcile is very simple. The evangel wants the collapse, in my opinion, of religion and state. The evangel is willing to get in bed with a immoral man, just like me, with a man who denies in practice Judeo-Christian moral ethic, but yet embraces it politically. And they're doing it for power. Everything's for power. So they're reducing God, in my opinion, to nothing but a power concept, a dealer, a broker. And they are promoting fear of the grave, of the afterlife. Now, for myself, I swing with Jesus. But I do it on an individual basis. I don't pontificate, I don't sermonize. And the reason I swing with Jesus is very simple. Because of the 12 stations. Where Jesus, if it's a myth, it's an incredible myth. A perfectly innocent man, perfectly innocent, was condemned. But not only that, he was scourged and humiliated, insulted, forced to carry his cross to Golgotha, where he was beaten, spat on, and mocked in pain and agony. When if he was God, he could have smote everybody. Do you know the discipline it takes to do a thing like that? Do you know the discipline it takes? Your enemies are smiting you, they're beating you, they're cursing you, they're cutting your flesh. And with one word, you have the power as God to destroy everybody. And he suffered it as man through the 12 stations on the way to the Golgotha, to the cross. And if it's a myth, that's why I believe it. And because he claims to be God, God Almighty, and because of that salvation plan. But it's on an individual basis. I have a lot of qualifications. And it's done certainly out of fear of the grave. But that's another issue.